Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. I was just telling Ron, my God.
All right, welcome everybody. This
What's
is
up?
Monday. Kind of a notice, guys. I don't have a green screen. This is not a green screen. This is actually
Beautiful,
real glass. Look,
Beautiful.
this is actually the city of Seattle right here, people. What happens is, it is a holiday. Technically, yes, it is a holiday, but today is when buildings, companies recognize New Year's. So my wife had to work because a lot of people get arrested over the New Year's. A lot. So they need. No matter what, the court system still has to process.
Yeah.
So she has to work a process. By doing that, they allow us to have a room here, and we took it. Look at this. Nice. Look, got 2 lounging chairs.
Nice.
I mean,
Hey, I could have slept
this
on that chair, man. You should have invited me. There's plenty of room in there for me, you liar. I could have come.
There's plenty of room. There is. I mean, it's just it is so nice, but I mean, it's sad why we're here. How many people that get arrested over the New Year's? I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's over. But I was hoping they were having a board meeting shows because I was gonna have a sign and say, "Hey, watch Paranormal Highway YouTube channel." But
should have made a banner.
I should have made a banner, but it'd be nobody to see it.
Write it on a sheet with magic marker and just tape it to the window.
Hey, live right now! Come on over here.
Join us.
All right, great people. I see a lot of good people in the chat. I see UFO Man, which he's going to make his reappearance this Sunday. Sunday is going to be the premiere of the cartoon. She gave me plenty of time the rest of the week to get all the voices that'll be coming. So, and we're gonna do right after Unidentified-S4 show.
That's right.
So let me show you his show today.
UFO Man and Tom Reed are gonna join us this Sunday. So that's gonna be a great show.
Video unavailable. I think you told me you had to refresh it, right?
Yeah, no, mine's up. There it is, right there. The unknown zone.
Okay. You got it up. Okay, you got it up. Okay, let me see. Here we go. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. Why do I have? Oh, that's why I have an echo. Okay, I had my other tab on, so I'm gonna put that link. So you got UFO Man, and that's gonna be awesome.
Reed. Tom Reed's famous for the Berkshire UFO incident, and it's one of the only UFO incidents that I know of that's documented, historic, and true. So I can't wait to have the discussion with these gentlemen. I mean, UFO is a legend in his own right, but Tom Reed as well, and they're partners, of course. So I'm glad to have the two of them. It's going to be a great show.
Looks like the Jeffersons. It does look like the Jeffersons. Wouldn't this be Jefferson have robots here and all that? That's
George.
And of course, my wife's missing out. You know, she's cross street working. I'm over here partying. I should invite everybody up from downstairs because, my God, it was kind of a weird yesterday, people, because you guys know Anthony's from New York, and I feel like I'm in the city of Seattle, but there's a lot of New Yorkers here right now. There is a lot of New Yorkers because the New York Jets just played. Actually, the New York Jets and the hockey team played the Kraken. But guess what? Both New York teams got their ass kicked by the Seattle. So we kicked.
The Rangers played.
There's 2 New York teams. Right?
Long Island, yes. The Islanders and the Rangers.
Yeah, Kraken kicked their butt in Seattle. We had to kick the Jets' butt. So I don't
even consider the Jets a football team. I'm a Giants fan, so.
Well,
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
the weirdest thing is the two New York teams, they still technically play in New Jersey.
That's true. Very true.
Right? So are they really a New York team or are they a New Jersey team? That's a debate of its own. Who should get credit over that team? And all that. All right, guys. The title, Why Things Are Designed the Way They Are. What that means is, why are the way the things are? Why are how it's set up with the government and UFOs, the truth and all that kind of stuff comes out. So I got this video of this conversation this group was having about kind of this topic. Why would the government cover UFO aliens up even in the first place? I mean, why? Well, what do you get out of it? So I'm going to play this this interaction with this group, and then I'm going to pause it here and there and get Anthony's his opinion of some of the things they say why the government even wants to bother to hide things.
You got it.
Let's see here.
Amanda Clark writes and says, if the government did have contact, why would they not share it with us? I know it starts from a conspiracy theory place, but I just wonder if there would be any logical reason to keep the info from us. Good question.
Yeah. Is the government hiding? Go ahead, Ben, tell me. I mean, if you can. I mean, maybe I'm not clear to hear this.
Are they listening? I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, this is a perfect question, and you know, I've pointed this out to people before. You know, I've asked people like, why exactly? You know, for the conspiracy theorist, why is it that you think that people would be, the government would make all this, and not just one government, of course, we're talking an international consortium spanning many administrations and countries and decades to all suppress this evidence. And it just doesn't make sense. And people say, well, you know, it's because, you know, if people really thought that aliens were contacting us, then, you know, then there'd be mass panic. And of course, the reply to that is, but if you look at polls, many people already think that aliens have contacted us. So that has not happened. So that explanation, well, there would be mass.
Before we go to the next part, so he said the poll shows that you know the government should tell us, but there'll be mass panic, or he thinks a theory of people will maybe stop going to work and shut down. You know, and that's a good question. I mean, we don't know exactly everybody, but I don't know. You kind of got to start somewhere. And listen, if I think they should just come out and just tell everybody, you know, stop with the little bit of here, because it builds up to bigger lies. Because there are going to be people who would panic, and they would stop. But sooner or later, you're going to have to put food on the table. You're going to have to go back to work. I mean, so you might have some adjustments, but like anything else.
Think about it, Eric. Think about it. The government already came out and announced that they're looking for life elsewhere. They already admitted that there's unidentified flying objects in the sky that our pilots are seeing, that our astronauts are seeing, that our pilots are chasing and documenting. So they've already admitted that it's out there, and there was no mass hysteria, nobody panicking and rioting and looting in the streets, right? So I think that's just a cover-up not to tell us. All right? Because if it was going to happen, it would have happened already when the government said they opened up a division to investigate unidentified flying objects.
That's true. That's a good point. So what else they say?
Panic. No. A lot of you, like as you said, you know, depending on what poll you look at, between, you know, a quarter and a third of them already think that. So that clearly hasn't happened.
And I always want to know, well, okay, these polls, where are you taking these polls from? Where they're at?
Yeah, I would love to know that as well.
You know, I mean, it's important to know because I always hear that all these polls. Like, well, I never took a poll. I'm interested in this stuff. Where can I put my opinion? I mean, I said this before. If you want something to favor a Republican side, you go to a Republican school with the poll. Sure. You're going to poll harder. You want a liberal side, you take your poll to a liberal school, and you're probably going to. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So I want to know, you know, like if they go to Roswell, I'm sure their poll is going to be stronger for UFOs versus, I don't know, a spot that never had UFO sightings. I don't know.
Hmm. And then don't
So
forget,
I was,
a lot of people and famous people, they're not going to admit the whole UFO alien subject until science physically has one on a slab and we're doing an autopsy on it, and scientists are studying the craft in some laboratory. They're not going to admit it. Some people are not going to admit it until we get to that point. So it is what it
yep.
is.
And there is something interesting. He comes up in a second.
And they don't have an answer.
They're still going to work every day, you know.
Yeah, but couldn't you make the argument just because somebody might think that it happened is very different from being presented with hard evidence? That could create the fear. Like some people think Trump.
You guys hear that? That is, he makes a good point right there. It's one thing to say something without knowing actually with the hard evidence, and then would you change once the hard evidence comes out? It's always easy to say something. You know,
Yeah.
I get exactly what he's saying, because there is a lot of people like that. Yeah, I want to be scared, but something happens. Yeah, you're the first one peeing your pants and pooping your diapers and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, you can say one thing until it actually happens or proof. You're not thinking the other. So that is a good point that he's bringing up.
Trump will be a great president. If he becomes president, I'd be like, holy shit, what do we do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, there may be something to that. I mean, Ben, it's okay to say, well, I believe that it's true. But if the government were to come out tomorrow, and after all, I mean, Hillary said something on a late night talk show about this, that she was going to get to the bottom of this. I must confess, I don't understand that, because if the government powers that be who can get to the bottom of it, presumably, say, well, yes, we have the aliens freeze-dried and stacked up at Area 51. If they say that, you know, everybody would go nonlinear. But if they say, no, we don't have any evidence of alien visitation, everybody would say, they're lying to us. I don't see how it solves anything. But suppose if they did.
That's kind of interesting. Will that solve anything, you know?
Yeah.
Tell us or not. And, of course, every president always says something that, you know, they're looking into it or they want to get to the bottom of it, and it's kind of it really is kind of weird to
Never
think
gets
about.
done, though.
But it is kind of weird to think about, because it's not like these people are in these positions permanently. They're just elected in until they're elected out.
Right.
Is it something where it's like everybody comes out and says, when I become, I'm sure everybody who's a senator, governor, all says, I'm going to go on there, I'm going to change things, we're going to do this and this and this. And it seems like when people do finally get in, I don't know, they kind of change. It's like, well, no, you want to stay in this business, you're going to say this, you're going to say this, you're not going to say this, you're not going to come out with that truth. You think there's something like that? Like they take you in a room and they brief you on what you're going to say, what you not say if you get elected? Because why are the other people say one thing and they don't do it?
Look at it this way, Eric. They run on the platform with good intentions, like they want to bring out UFO disclosure and whatnot. Like President Bill Clinton wanted to tell us what was going on. Even right back down to Trump, he wanted to tell us what was going on too, right? But then you get into national security and what's top secret and what special access programs can we not tell the public? And if we tell them this, is it going to leak into something more, you know, where we get into top secret and eyes only levels? So that's how you got to look at it, right? I think these people go in with good intentions and then they get shut down due to secrecy issues. But I don't think showing photos of UFOs that are legitimate or showing videos of how they fly in the sky has to do with anything top secret. I think if anything, the public should know what's going on up in our skies and in space, because we the people fund it. It's our tax dollars that are, you know, keeping the government running, and without our tax dollars, they can't do any of this. So we should be told what's going on.
And if you're told that our votes are important, they trust our votes and all that, we go in and vote these people in, and then they should have the trust of freeing the information, because you're there put in by us. Because basically you're saying we can't handle it. That means basically we can't handle the people we elected.
Right. Or worst case scenario, you know, put a 5-year limit on it. So let's say they just found out today that there's a planet with extraterrestrial life on it, where they're bipedal and they're intelligent and they got flying craft and they're 1 billion years more advanced than us, right? Well, then let there be a 5-year stipulation where they don't tell they don't tell the public about it. They study it. They do all the studying that needs to be done and get all the information that they need. And then 5 years down the line, they have to tell us within 5 years. I mean, they could put stipulations like that on it too, but eventually the word has to get out. They can't hide it from us. Who are they to hide it from us?
Yeah, yeah, and we know part of the problem is not social media. I'm talking about news media,
Mm-hmm.
because everything. I mean, I put on the news this morning, Anthony,
Yeah.
and the first thing on the news is about people's New Year's resolution. Do you know 80% of people's resolution never happens? And I'm sitting there just thinking, like, why not just start positive? You know what I mean? Like it's like you're already putting a sticker negative. That why am I going to come out with a resolution? 80% of all of us are going to fail. Why not come out and say do something? Resolution and have fun. Not mention the 80% of the resolutions fell. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the media has a big part of helping with the truth instead of just running to the stuff that sells, that gives the ratings, the fear. And I know other countries make, I hate when other countries make fun of, America's all about the media. Listen, in the UK, come on, their media still worships the king and queen, a family that's more stronger than any other family, which I believe personally, everybody knows that they should be no more kings and queens or prince in the world. No family should be bigger than a family, because once you still keep families bigger than the other ones, we're never going to get to that part of the world where we're all equal. We're not.
I agree. It's a bygone era having kings and queens. You know what I mean?
So I don't want to hear from I love the people in the UK. Don't get me wrong. Love you guys. But I want to hear, well, the America media, well, look, your media talks about king and queens. Everything in a freaking article is about the king and queens.
But look at it this way too, right? You have a king and you have the king and the queen, or the queen consort and the king now, and you still have a prime minister who's the same rank as our American president, right? So you really don't need the monarchy anymore. They really don't. What do they really do? It's democracy and parliament that really make all the decisions. The king and the queen consort, they're really just a showpiece. And they got to get paid a couple $1 million a year from the state anyway, just to play that role. This isn't the 1600s anymore, where you need kings and queens and all with their heads and all that nonsense,
Think about it. You're born, right? I'm born a prince.
Right.
I get, I'm already bigger than Anthony. I'm already bigger than everybody else, even though we all believe the same color.
Right.
We all should have the fair chance,
I agree, Eric.
Let's continue. I'm glad we agree. We agree on the same thing.
Do it. I mean, do you think that people would be rioting in the streets? We're not going to work today. We're going to riot in the streets because they've got aliens.
You think? I'm wondering if they came out. First of all, nobody's going to riot.
No.
For what purpose? Will there be a protest? Like, want more information? That's possible. But
if anything,
when's the last time you see a UFO picketing or something that does anything of a riot? We've seen riots. You and I have seen riots.
When's the last time a UFO flew over the United States, or any country for that matter, and destroyed anything? Never. Nope. Never happened, right? If anything, if we were told that there's extraterrestrial intelligence out there's a planet with life on it that's intelligent, if anything, it would probably unite us more. Just like when 9/11 happened, it was a national tragedy, right? And it united everyone together. If a situation like this arises with there's life on another planet, if anything, people of Earth are going to unite for a common goal, for a common good, to unite as one, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. I don't think we're going to be infighting with each other over aliens.
No. And in theory, if they're already here, if they already been visiting, then you would have thought that they would have taken us over by now. Why not take us out before we get even more advanced with technology? When you get more advanced, we could become more of a threat to them. So, looking at it that way, they already taken us over if they wanted to. Well, some people say that our president and stuff are an alien form, but that's another story.
Well, Purgatory Paranormal New York made a really good statement on my show this past Sunday. She said, if extraterrestrials and UFOs can already get here and they can get back and forth from their planet to our planet and back with ease, and we can't, that's already, an issue. If that
Oh yeah,
already means that they're more advanced than us, because they can
watched.
get to us at home and we can't do that. We can't
I
get to
watched your.
them. Yeah.
I
So
was.
she
I
made
wasn't on
really
your show, but I watched it. I
yeah.
watched it. I think it was you or her who said, "We if they leave back their planet, we can't even chase them."
Right. That's right. Exactly. Right.
Was that you who said that?
I'm pretty sure it was me, right? We couldn't chase them.
Was your
No,
show?
it was her. She said if they came here and they started a war with us and then they left, we couldn't follow them. We couldn't chase them back to their planet to do that. So, and that brings up the same, the same scenario what I was saying, but they've never done that before. If they're out there, why would they?
But I just love that point. Like they know we can't chase them. I mean,
Right.
we could get into our little space shuttles that takes 20 hours to prepare to get it
Yeah,
going in
right.
the first place. And once after the 20 hours we get it prepared, I don't think we'll be able to catch the speed of what they do.
We would be no match for something that advanced. It would just be impossible.
I mean, I wouldn't mind like the movie Flash Gordon if they sent Anthony and I up in a ship and to go land and to say, hey, we're friends from. Actually, I think you and I would be great ambassadors for America, for the world,
Absolutely,
for the whole
man.
world.
Yeah,
You
for the
and I would
world.
be great ambassadors
For the world. Let's do it. But you know what? I also brought up a point this weekend, and I said, you ever see that movie, The Mist, when
Oh
the
yeah,
government does that top secret program and they open up a small
portal.
portal into another world, and then they can't close it. And that portal starts leaking in all these alien type dinosaurs onto our planet, and they just start eating people. And it was freaky because we all know that the government really probably messes around with things like that. We've all heard the stories, true or not. But if something like that ever happened, we would be screwed because science
Oh,
will tell you there are parallel dimensions. That is a real thing. And we have already jumped through space and time already. We've done it through, what do they call them? Like atoms, like very tiny atoms, nothing full size like a human has gone through. But we're already on the scale where like you can transport or teleport a grain of rice from one point to another. We can already do that. So it's only a matter of time before we're transporting people. So, keep that in mind how scary that thought is.
oh, there's a lot of things
Thought.
we don't know. We still don't really understand why whales sing underwater. What is that? What is that? Who are they talking to? They say dolphins can almost talk to each other that way. They
Right.
have that ability.
Yeah,
And
telepathic communication, right? They also
it's
speak
kind of funny.
whales and dolphins are the most intelligent because they speak in
Yeah,
sonar. So that's, very intelligent
exactly.
species. Look how
Did you guys?
intelligent an octopus is too, right? Extremely intelligent.
Yeah. And has anybody watched Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, when alien craft's coming to Earth because the whales stopped singing? I
Oh,
mean,
really? Is
you know,
that what happened?
actually, a couple nights ago, when you talk about the government thing, sometimes I work at night. I'll just play a movie in the background, and I don't know if you remember this B movie. I loved it. It's a B movie called The Core, where in the movie The
The
Core,
Earth starts
the
spinning.
government, the Earth stopped spinning, where the government
Right.
was using the inner, I forgot what to call it, as the core as a weapon to cause vibrations, to cause like hurricanes
Earthquakes and
or X. And
mass hysteria with weather, right? Weather
and by
manipulation.
the government doing this, trying to create a weapon, they crippled the earth.
That's right.
Kind of like when you talk about the mist. They open
Right.
up a portal for their own weapon and they do something like that. And then, of course, I love the movie because I know we can't go in the middle of the core, but man, my God, I don't know why. There's some movies that
Pretty
still
cool.
touch. But it's true that government will do anything to make a certain weapon that, well, shit, atomic bomb fucks up the world.
Well, I was
That's
always really curious how we know the core of the Earth is hot. Who like how do you know that? You're just assuming that because the Earth, when it formed after the Big Bang, the core was molten, and then it crustified and started building layers of Earth around it. Now we have the planet that you see today. So are they still assuming that it's molten from back then? How do we know it hasn't cooled down and it's as cold as dirt today? How do we know it's not just a big chunk of cold steel that was molten at one time and dried and cooled?
You're right. What kind of equipment, what kind of science tells you exactly what it is like down there?
Right. I would love to know that. Or is it all
We
speculation?
we drill a small little hole and we have a camera down there taking
No
temperature and
way.
taking pictures.
So, Dope Note said geothermal energy companies drill deep and run water through pipes to use for heat. Yeah, but I want to know, nothing has gone past, what, 7 miles into the earth? The core of the earth. I want to know how they know the core is molten like the sun. That's what I want to know. You may get geothermal heat, but I don't. I want to know how they can assume that it's as hot as the sun, and where they come up with all this stuff is what I want to know.
Yeah, Hobbes basically kind of said the same thing you said. We don't even know the core of the earth is hot. The
Exactly.
deepest hole
8 miles, right? I thought it was like 7
yeah.
miles, right? 8 miles. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, we really truly don't know. Yeah, and it'd
So
be interesting.
scary.
Okay, what kind of equipment is it? Because you and I know we could just tell Ron, hey Ron, they use this equipment. Tell us everything about it. And you know, Ron,
he'll tell you.
he could he'll dissect the book. He'll tell you, well, this is what it reads.
That's right. Ron knows his shit, man.
Take time to read that book, but I know Ron will. He'll get to the bottom of it.
He'll get to the bottom of it.
Let's see what else these guys say.
No, this is absurd. I mean, again, the government is in a no-win situation, because the thing is that even if the government came totally clean tomorrow and declassified everything and said, look, here's what's going on, at Area 51, here's Air Force bases, the fact is that the conspiracy theorists wouldn't believe them. They would assume.
And he makes an awesome point right there. And this is the problem. There are extreme conspiracy theorists, but we want to know the truth. And if they get told the truth, they're going to say that's not the truth. Because you can't be a conspiracy. Listen, there's people who make a conspiracy theorist a life. They can't be a conspiracy theorist if there ain't no conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what somebody comes out, they're going to make a conspiracy about it because, or their world's dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like movie critics. If all movie theaters shut down, everything is on TV, you really can't have movie critics anymore for movie theaters because everything is like TV based. You got to have something to be able to do something. So, I mean, Anthony, you're right. They go on your show tomorrow and say, we're going to go on Anthony's Unidentified-S4 channel. We're going to tell the world the truth. We're going to give Anthony the exclusive.
I wish.
People watch and say, that's all hoax. That's a lie. Anthony's in on it.
You're always going to have naysayers, man.
It would.
You'll always have naysayers.
Anthony, they would tell you and I, you guys are fake. They don't got no exclusive. They could be telling us the truth, and smart people will get it. They'll find the truth, but they will say we're hoaxing it. Or what's that word when we're in on with them? We're not spies. That word. Oh my God. That word. They always say that we're when you're with somebody, you're a spy. I can't even think of that word.
A conspiracy theorist?
No. Psyops. We're psyops.
Oh, psyops.
Psyops. That's a conspiracy theory word that when they don't like somebody, they always call you a psyop. So you're automatically on the other side. If you disagree.
The matter is, nobody really knows. All of us channels are just speculating our best theories out there, and it's fun to do, right? None of us know. Maybe our government or the governments of the world have some kind of inkling of what's going on, but they're certainly not telling us. And we're just regurgitating the best theories that we hear on the internet, spitting back out.
We want to know. We want to know.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Let's see what else they say.
There's another layer of the cover-up. So, and this is inherent, of course, in conspiracy theory thinking, is that there's no way to disprove it because anything you offer them as counter evidence is taken as part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, you're part of the cover-up, Ben.
Yeah, there's no way to argue with these people because it's like, well, anything you say. So, so again, that's one of the problems is that when from the government point of view, no matter what they say, people aren't going to believe it. So, let them wonder what's at Area 51.
Yeah, that's The problem is they had the world. That's what they kind of designed it that way. So even when the truth finally does come out, people aren't going to believe it because that's just the way they designed it. You had old way of people thinking. I hate to say it, but the 50s and 60s governments and all that. There's just too much knowledge out there, and there's too much technology, too much. Everybody's talking more than ever because we can reach more people.
And they're always talking about Area 51 like that's the spot. Area 51 was the spot back in the 40s and the 50s. There's nothing, no extraterrestrial, anything there anymore. It's been moved a long time ago. That place is no longer a secret. You can't keep top secret stuff or above top secret stuff in that facility.
No,
They probably built something new already.
because
You know what I mean?
because you already got people camping out there, like with
Right.
monoculars already looking. So if they're going to experiment with ships, it's going to be somewhere 200 miles where people can't get
It's
to.
gone. It's underground, 10 stories. You're never gonna find it. You know what I mean? It's gone. Actually, we say that because that would be what you would think when it would come to hide a top secret facility. But for all we know, it could be in that building right across the street from you right now, Eric. They could be hiding extraterrestrials in there, and it could be a top secret government building, and you would never know it. Hide it in plain sight, so to speak. You know?
See, that's why people in their last cartoon, I said the only way we're going to able to get back an artifact is we're going to have to go back in time because where it's at now, we can't get to it.
Right.
We don't know where it is. We don't know where it's buried. To get to stuff, you have to go into the past.
That's right.
Because you're right. Because hey, listen, can the government be that stupid to keep? If you guys do believe in the world alien life, which I do, do we believe they can still keep it there? Well, yeah, there's that possibility, but there's a good chance that it's all been moved. If it's still there, would it surprise
there's a
me?
chance that it's all been moved. I think
But it's not.
more than anything, it's been moved. I'll have to say.
And it may be on the ground. It is on the ground.
Yeah, I thought
Listen,
that.
it is on the ground because if you're trying to hide something from the world, you got drones from every part of the world all spying on each other. The best place to experiment stuff is on the ground where people can't see it. The drones can't see it. Listen, people, I'm telling you right now, you have mountains that if you look at, there's missiles
Excuse me.
underneath some of these mountains. They're hidden missiles my grandpa worked on some of these tunnels. There's tunnels that you don't even know where they go to. I'm not trying to bring up conspiracies, but I'm just saying there are stuff built underground. We think there can no shelters underground. So
the big
underground
problem today, Eric, the big problem today, and that's the reason why we have a space force. We have a space force today, not because don't think of Star Wars or anything like that in your head. We have a space force today because China and Russia would like to take out our spy satellites. If they take out our spy satellites, right, then we can lose control over the whole Pacific Fleet. If we lose satellite communications, none of our military ships and planes can communicate with each other anymore. So that the most important thing today is space dominance. It really is the most important thing. And without space control dominance, man, we're screwed. The first person that takes over the satellites in space controls the planet. And that's the God's honest truth. That's a scary situation.
They control all frequencies, radio, TV frequencies from those satellites, and they can broadcast whatever they want. It's there for the taking.
The Space Force uniforms look like Star Trek. They are really cool. Have you seen them yet?
No, but I did hear you and Paranormal talking yesterday about Star Trek tree.
Hold on, I gotta show you. I'll pull it up. Give me a minute.
Like Star Trek tree and all that. I'm like, that's awesome. I want to see this.
Oh, Paranormal. She has the Star Trek Christmas tree topper. That's so cool, dude. She's got the Enterprise on top, and they all speak to each other. But this is what the new uniforms look like for Space Force. This is incredible. Check that out.
Wow.
Like Star Trek, right?
It is.
It's amazing.
It is. It is. I know exactly that the Star Trek toys like she does on her tree because there's actually a Star Wars version of that where they have the Death Star on top of the tree and it's hooked up to the characters, and they all interlinked.
That's what she has.
Yeah,
That's
she has the Star Trek version. They're really
So
cool.
Let me
That's
see if I
that's an investment, man. That's an investment because the headpiece alone, like the Enterprise or the Death Star, are like $70-$80.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, because I was at a store and they were selling 50% off on the Christmas stuff, and they had the Death Star one like 50% off was like $40-$50. Like, damn. Shoot, my wife goes, "You want it?" I go, "Yeah." Well, I go, if I buy that, but none of the other pieces were on the 50% rack. Then like that's an investment. That's a money investment. And I don't know if I want to. So good people in the chat.
Throw that up. That's the
people in the chat. I want you guys to
put. That's our free topper. Paranormal.
I'm so jealous. So everybody in the chat, put one that together with everybody we can change things in the future. 2, put no that nothing's going to get changed because the government's going to stop everything. But so 1 that we can make the change. 2 that it's pointless. The government's going to control it all anyway. I'm curious what they think
right now.
But beyond that, I went to my archives to pull up some videos for today. Like I said, I'm hanging out in a hotel room. Here's one of the from my archives is UFO sightings in Paterson Inside, the mysterious lights above. So, we got some coming in. So Angel Wing says 1, we can change things. Nightmare, we can change things. Pixie Laura, we can change things. David says we can change things. This weird guy Anthony says we change things. Cynthia says we change things. Pam says the government is going to stop us from because they want to be able to control everything. You know, listen. Throughout history, people rise up.
That's right.
People rise up. Governments do collapse and stuff. People do have power. It just takes everybody power. The problem is the whole world's not behind It's not the whole world's not behind UFOs or aliens. Truth. I personally believe that percentage of people just don't care. I know a lot of people who believe in aliens, UFOs, but they don't care about the conversations. They don't care about the speeches. They don't care to fight or free. They just go on with their life. And that's the thing. You got people who care. You got people who just don't believe. And you got people who do believe. They just don't care to do anything about it or listen about it. I mean, so when you have that going against you, you got 75% versus 25% who want the truth out there. Unfortunately, but together with everybody talking like this and us in a peaceful manner, that's where things going to get around. But let's check out this one video for the hell of it.
What's that? A pattern of lights over Paterson, New Jersey on Monday night caused a bit of a stir with residents on the ground, all trying to make sense of the unidentified flying objects.
Lanterns.
Louis Stevens, who was on the ground filming the spectacle, says he lost count of what he called flying white circles that he says morphed into different shapes.
You see it on YouTube and you be like, it's always somewhere out in Nevada desert somewhere. The shock was more like, is this really real? Like, are we really looking at what we think we're looking at?
From now on, you're looking at all that, I'm automatically thinking balloons and flares because what you showed.
Chinese lanterns. Those are Chinese lanterns you're looking at.
Those are Chinese lanterns?
Headed toward those.
The mysterious lights dazzled the skies over downtown Paterson for more than 5 minutes.
Did somebody come out and prove that those came from lanterns?
Somebody was having a party a couple blocks down. Relative had passed away.
That is such a problem now, especially watching your video about those people who did the
experiment
flares.
with the balloon and the flares. Yeah,
all that, and it's almost like. And I remember we did another show. We talked about what about Chinese lanterns, and right there you said those were proven to be used. So
and this is the problem with mainstream media. They ran with it as if it was a UFO story, instead of doing their due diligence, right,
Administration,
and
where
driving
an
down to the
official
neighborhood
reviewed
where
it,
it looks
checking
like
in
they're
with
coming
local air
from
traffic.
to see if anybody's
Nothing
releasing
unusual was
lanterns in the
reported.
sky. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see what is. I didn't hear this part. Federal. Let me see. What did the federal have to say? Like you said, this is the media, and they brought up the word federal.
Sent the
Yeah,
video
that,
to the
you know,
Federal Aviation
planes and stuff.
Administration, where an official reviewed it, checking in with local air traffic. We were told nothing unusual was reported. While theories on the ground are now running rampant, especially after a government report released over the summer acknowledged that intelligence officials cannot explain.
Well, like you said, the media, and I bet you
They
there's
run
nothing in
rampant with
here.
it.
I wonder, I wonder if they ever recap and say we found out what that was really were, or are they just like, that story's over, let's move on.
Yeah, no, this is old. This is old. This story. There is another story on this that it was Chinese lanterns.
So they did bring it up that it was.
Oh yeah.
That's what you hope for, at least, But like you said, it's easy to just run things, but God, it's so easy to do things like that. God, it just makes it harder. That's why you have to investigate every single angle, listen to everybody, what they've seen, because it's so easy to hoax.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to hoax, and that makes the design, Anthony, even harder, because here we are trying to find the truth, but you got everybody still wants to hoax, and not just hoaxing for fun. I'm talking about people hoaxing for their own profits.
Yep.
It's one thing people want to make fun of. I'm not saying you should do that, but it's one thing for me to make fun of people. But you got people doing it for money. They do it to hoax for views and clicks. So, like the question, why things are designed the way, why they do it, because people click on what they don't know, and when they find out, and this is the thing is, once they find out the truth, there's still people who don't believe that. Oh, that's just a cover up. You know what I mean, Anthony? Like, I'm sure somebody must have came out and said those weren't Chinese lanterns. They were just covering it up because those were real UFOs. You got that argument too. So is what's real. What's real anymore. But do you know if any of the footage show the people launching the Chinese lanterns off? No.
Just
I'm sure somebody's out there probably saying that's a cover up too.
It was. I'm telling you. I could tell just by looking at them that they're Chinese lanterns. The way they're coming from the ground up. I mean, UFOs don't come from the ground up like that. Only Chinese lanterns or balloons do.
Was probably the slow news day. Well, actually, even on a heavy news day, if a news channel thinks this story is going to get more clicks than that story, they will bump something else off to bring something in.
Exactly. And they went ahead with that story because within that week is when the government came out and said that we have the ATIP program and the OSAP program and all of that. So they used that video in conjunction with all of that crap.
Now, talking about cryptids, do any of you out there in the chat, if you believe in the Loveland Frogman, the Uncanny forms, does any of you guys believe in the Loveland Frogman cryptid?
I've heard of it.
Put in one if you believe in that cryptid. Put in two if you don't. If you don't know what the story is of the Loveland Frogman, this is the story of the cryptid Loveland Frogman.
There are many strange creature sightings seen all across the United States, though one stands out in particular. This, of course, is the Loveland Frogman. The Loveland Frogman, the Loveland Frog, the Loveland Lizard Man. These are all referring to the same creature that was first spotted in 1955. The story goes that a businessman was driving when he came across three creatures conversing, though the stories differ from here. In one instance, the man was leaving Branch Hill neighborhood when he saw the creatures, though in other stories, the creatures were seen either on the top or on the bottom of a bridge nearby, though there are many bridges in the area. As the story goes, the man saw the three creatures conversing, and one had a wand where he shot or sprayed sparks out of it. This led the man to leave. The next sighting was in 1972 on March 3rd at 1 a.m. Officer Ray Shockey was driving at night when he illuminated in his headlights a strange, crouched-over creature that was similar to a frog. He estimated that the creature was 50 to 75 pounds, and it stood up on its hind legs and climbed over the guardrail. When later investigations were researched, scratches were found on the rail. A similar instance was by an officer known as Mark Matthews, who saw a strange creature, though later changed his story. The most recent sighting of this creature was on August 3rd of 2016 when two teenagers spotted the creature while playing Pokemon Go near Madeira Road. This is all the information we have at this point. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment below.
So, do we believe in the Loveland Frogman?
No, I don't. Ribbit.
I mean, you know,
Come
what
on.
if I'm saying, what if technically, if somebody saw something, what if it was an alien that just happened to look lizard, and they're mistaking that as a creature from his home planet called the Frogman? I don't know.
What if it was a frog that was just eating some river runoff from like a toxic plant, like a Ninja Turtle story, and now we got a 75-pound frog running around.
And where's that one shot? I mean,
that looks like a guy in a suit or something.
Well, I'm looking at it, right, and let's just say there really is a Loveland Frogman there. Why is it a shadow?
Yeah, show me a clear pic.
Wouldn't that be a little bit more clearer? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a camera person.
Could it have actually happened? Yeah, I guess anything's possible. You know what I mean? Who knows? But does it sound legit? No, it doesn't sound legit. Makes you scratch your head though.
Well, see, whoever caught this, took this picture, right? Or whoever caught the picture, whatever. I mean, you could come out and say, "Look, I caught a ghost on camera."
True.
Well, or a gray, or whatever. But what made a person think of the Loveland Frogman right off the bat? Hey, look at this. I think this is the Loveland Frogman, not a ghost, not this, not a spirit. I'm just always curious. Now, Anthony, how far away are you from the state of Connecticut?
About 2 hours, I would say.
Here's apparently a haunted street in Connecticut. It was in my archive. I thought I'd show it because, I know you are on and looking for places to, in the future to investigate and all that. Maybe since Connecticut is close, or maybe when I get to New York, maybe we could take a road trip to this street of Connecticut. So here's a little archive.
I love that music, don't you?
Ooh, yes, time for our Haunted in Connecticut series. You've probably driven down a dark and scary road, but there's one road in Connecticut that is considered the scariest.
You want me to hold your hand? You're scared,
no, I'm okay. I'm brave.
Channel 3's Mark Zinni is taking us for a ride to Shelton, where there's no turning back once you take a turn onto Sawmill City.
So Sawmill City, I don't know how far that is
I'm not familiar
the
with
New
it.
York section or all that, but Sawmill City is supposed to be the scariest road in Connecticut.
Of the thousands of miles of roads here in Connecticut, this is a road less traveled. Sawmill City Road is a roughly 1.5-mile stretch in Shelton that's classically creepy.
It's dark, it's narrow, it's a little unnerving at times.
Oh yeah. I know people that they see all kinds of weird things there.
Gabe Masuli grew up near Sawmill City Road, where as the legend goes, there's a group of people hiding in the woods. Possibly a group of monsters.
What exactly is that?
They're kind of like mutants,
scary.
Some people say yeah.
Okay, that seems a little far-fetched, But even at dusk, where you can see the twists and turns as it passes by a reservoir, it's admittedly alarming.
And then once the sun sets, it gets dark here on Sawmill City Road, and I mean really dark. So dark, in fact, that you really can't even see who's coming around the corners towards you because the road is so narrow. Most of the time, only one car can pass at a time.
People do live on this street, where it was too dark to knock on any doors. But we did find Tom Pinto and a friend walking his dog, Winnie.
I don't know if I'd want to walk it individually without the dog, but she's the security device. She alerts to everything, so we're good in that respect.
Now, according to onlyinyourstate.com, which ranks it the scariest street in Connecticut, some have reported seeing orbs, hearing screaming from multiple directions at once, and seeing shadowy figures running from tree to tree.
Did you ever see anything, any ghosts, anything at all?
No, unfortunately I haven't. Can't report any of that. No Sasquatch or anything. No, just local neighbors and other wildlife. That's about it. So sorry to disappoint those that like that kind of thing.
No, it's not a disappointment. I'm actually better off if we aren't visited by anybody.
Right.
Appropriately, there's even a haunted house on one end of Sawmill City Road. But legends of fear may not be as scary as what else could be hiding in the woods nearby.
They're there. Everybody says they are.
In Shelton, Mark Zinni, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Okay, well, that's supposed to be one of the scariest roads in Connecticut. You know, I don't know about the mutants part and all that, but you know, maybe it's the Bigfoot family that people have seen. You know, I mean, if you who knows? But that'd be kind of a interesting road to check out and try to maybe get a medium with us. Like Purgatory, New York. You know, I know she has more of the ability of the feel. She feels.
Right.
She doesn't see.
Sensitive.
Her is sensitive. I think Amber, she sees. She can see.
We also have in New Jersey, the New Jersey Pine Barrens. That's famous for the New Jersey Devil, as is a good spot to be on the road too. Have you heard the Jersey Devil?
The New Jersey Devil. That's a famous cryptid story.
That's a great story. Yeah, that's like an hour away from me, hour and a half away from me, not even.
So Anthony should never walk alone in New Jersey, or he might be visited by the New Jersey.
I told Ron I wanted to go investigate the Jersey Pine Barrens for the Jersey Devil story, or Mothman Prophecy. I'd like to do too. The Mothman.
Oh, I got to tell you, you know, the East Coast has so many awesome hotspots for so many things. I mean, it makes sense because it's the oldest part of the country, right?
Right.
I mean, New York is where most of the people came from other countries too. So that's where the majority of people who more deaths, more everything. And I got to tell you something. One of the biggest thing that was a surprise for me coming from the West Coast when I moved to Maryland for a while, and I lived in upstate New York for a while because that's where my wife's family's from. And you were talking to Purgatory, New York about the graveyards. The graveyards out there on the East Coast are just beautiful, and the statues. Because people might not know this, the state of Washington, 70% of people in Washington are all cremations, and most of, I mean, we got some. The graveyards are not like the East Coast percentage wise. Every graveyard is beautiful. I remember driving to Maryland. Look, I mean. You just feel that there's ghosts walking around just because of all the statues and the history and 1800s.
There's one in Brooklyn called Greenwood Cemetery, where a lot of my family members are. But I mean, it's like from the 1600s. This place is incredible. There's lakes inside there. It's like one of the most beautiful cemeteries in the world, Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. And I mean, at night when it gets dark in there, a lot of ghost stories came out of that place.
And some people got graveyards on their property. Anybody who follows me on Instagram,
that's you.
A while back, I put up some videos on Instagram of me and a group walking on a graveyard that's on my my wife's grandma's house because she has a graveyard on her house. People back from the 1800s, right there on their property. It's crazy. It comes with it, and it's just weird that thinking of a private house actually has a graveyard. It's not just her family. different people's families.
It'd be cool to get a thermal camera set up on a graveyard that's on like family property, like a family plot, and just keep the thermal camera, filming for like 5-10 hours. Play back the footage, see if you caught anything on it. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's why when I get to New York, I want to have a barbecue, invite all you guys over, because there's graveyards there. There's a haunted graveyard. There's a famous supposedly a haunted house in the city of Cortland that's been on I think it's been a Ghost Hunters show. I think it's Ghost Hunters show. Maybe Ghost Adventures. I think it's Ghost Hunters, because I would recognize Zach going crazy in a building. I forgot what the building's called. I was going to go there last time, but everybody wanted to go to Hershey Park instead of that haunted house.
Oh, I wonder why.
And I remember going to Hershey Park, and we get there, and fuck, it just started pouring down like thundering rain. And of course, in an hour after you're soaking wet, and then you continue with the rides. I'm like, that's the East Coast. That's the East. But man, it'd be awesome to go check out some of these spots with you guys, and then maybe have Purgatory with us. You get the feeling, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel something's here? Do you feel anything? No, one of my favorite videos I showed. I wish I had my archive of Purgatory New York when she did a box session at Woodstock.
Oh yeah, I watched that video. That was great. I was actually up in Woodstock for Woodstock '99. I was up there for the concert. That was pretty cool. That property's pretty wild.
I wish I was at home. I wanted to go. I wanted to be on that show, but unfortunately, I had to go downtown. I just couldn't make it. Couldn't get it. It's just, man, that was an awesome show. But I love that Woodstock one. She has a lot of great ones, and I think I can't remember on one of her box session shows. I think she was talking to Michael Jackson. I think she was reaching Michael Jackson and some other people, and I love that. And I'm always curious too, because when you do a box session, I mean, even though if you're not in the area where those bigger than life people, can you call them into a box session even though you're not at a spot maybe where they lived or died? Like Michael Jackson away. She's in New York. Michael Jackson's in California. Can you call somebody to a box session that far out? It's just weird to think about that.
I would assume yes. I mean, a spirit can travel, anywhere. The astral. She also did what's her name that recently passed away in the car accident? Anne Heche. Anne Heche.
Oh.
She did.
Yeah, because I mean, I know you can, but you always think of you usually do the box session where their spirit, where they're from, but knowing you're 3,000 miles away, and you can still do a box session, bring people in. It's always interesting. Now, when you do get a voice or stuff, it's one thing and the other to prove that's the real Michael Jackson or just somebody else pretending. Because I'm sure ghosts, I don't know, can ghosts pretend to somebody else? Because they want to talk to you so bad?
We were talking about that as well. I would assume that ghosts could, mimic anything they want, so you get your attention. And then once you get, you start communicating with that thing, it could be a demon for all you know.
Just right here. You don't always get through the spirit you're looking for, but sometimes after a spirit that can tell you about them, but we never really know for sure. You don't. Yeah. You really? Because you really don't. Because you don't even know what kind of people you bite on, what you're going to get out of them, more or less than, yeah, I'm actually that ghost. How can you prove it? You have to know some kind of secret, I guess, that they would only know.
Possibly, I would assume. I mean, but then again, you don't know what the dead know and what they don't know either, right?
Yes, I've heard my own voice.
Really? That must have been freaky.
I'm about to say that now. That's got to be a little freaky, right?
Having your own voice mimicked? Oh man, that sounds scary. I would definitely not sleep that night if that happened.
Yeah, wow, if you heard yourself speaking to you.
Can you imagine?
I mean, the first thing in my mind, I would be thinking, did I just break through the multiverse? Am I talking to myself? from another
Oh, I didn't
universe?
think of that. Another. Did you break through another timeline or something? And hear yourself? Because I've heard scientists say that it's possible we exist on multiple timelines. Like what we're doing right now is happening on another timeline. Also, that would
You
be
hear
pretty
all the
sick.
time that some people know how to open up wormholes, or people using Ouija boards to talk to the other side, or the movie The Mist you're talking about, like
Right.
creating something, a break. What if your conversation you're doing through the white noise is somehow talking through another multiverse? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you gotta say it could be a possibility, because there is science behind a multiverse existing.
True.
So that would be interesting. So we got a few minutes left here. I just want to pop. Oh, let's look at Unidentified
Akashi
as
Chris, what's up, sweetie? Happy New Year. What's up, Jimbo?
here. So like you said, you got coming up this Sunday. You got UFO Man coming
Oh,
up this
UFO
Sunday.
Man and Tom Reed. This will be Wednesday's show. Talk about Emery Smith and David Wilcock. More scam artists.
I guess you know what. I guess that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure these people are in a lot of UFO documentaries.
Yeah, well, David Wilcock was really famous for all his youth. Now he's saying that he's talking to, St. Michael the Archangel and all that stuff. And Emery Smith is famous. He said he worked for the government and that they were creating, the government was creating creating extraterrestrials, and he was, dissecting different parts of them. And then his fiance came out and said it was all a lie. Well, don't jump or anything, Eric. Don't jump. What are you doing? You're getting close to that window, man. Be careful.
No, I was hoping there's people over there. Like I said, they're probably off, because I wanted to wave to them and say, "Hey, we're live. Check us out."
I told you you had to write it on a sheet, live on Paranormal Highway. Join us and tape it to the window.
If I would have done that, everybody's on vacation. Nobody's seeing it. I mean, it'd be like, "Who's that weirdo? What is he doing?"
Hi, Cindy. Hectic Stargazer. Welcome, honey. Nice to see you. Yeah, so we got a couple good shows coming up. I can't wait to get Tim, UFO Man, and Tom Reed on Sunday, Berkshire UFO Incident. That's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up right here. Oops. I am. Okay, live. And that's, of course, like you said, that's Sunday. That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be a good show.
And he's got a lot of great knowledge. And just going through your channel, if somebody, I don't know, it might be a hard question for you, Anthony. If somebody did ask you, "Hey, what is your favorite upload or show on your channel in 2022?" If you has something to share, do you have something in 2022 that you love telling people to check out on your channel? Or you just love all your content the same?
No, I don't love all my content. When Darcy Weir was on my channel, we had a really good discussion. The director. I had a good time with him. I had a good time with Andrew Razowitz, the psychic firefighter. Cheryl Costa, of course, Preston Dennett, Jim Goodall, Cristo Rapolo, a good friend of mine. I mean, anytime you have somebody famous from the UFO community come on the show, it's a good time. X1, his footage was phenomenal. I loved airing that. It was a great piece. But believe it or not, the one right there, Double UFOs, it got the most views. Those just two dots, side by side flying over the beach, got over 15,000 views. I couldn't believe it. Just two dots in the sky flying after each other. I think it's because the commentary on it. Everybody, laughed and enjoyed that one.
Oh, there they go. Look at that, man. I got him. Oh, shit. Oh, man, look at that. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Oh, perfect timing, man. Look at that.
I said perfect timing because there was we had a missing person on the beach, and all the cops were on the beach, and I knew a couple of them. and they couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. So I was like, use my night vision. And after they were done, he hands me back my night vision, and I start looking in the sky. And as soon as I look up, they fly right over. So that's why I was like, perfect timing, man. But yeah, but this year we're gonna have a lot.
Hello, I'm Mr. Wilson, and behind me is a pile of rings.
Automatic front cameras, walkthrough hardware,
astrophotography hardware. So this year we're going to do a lot more interviews with famous people from the community, and we're gonna get out and do a lot more stuff. Ron and I are planning to do a lot of the paranormal stuff with the other channel. We're gonna have fun this year. You're coming down, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, 2023 good. I think the best part of that video is just hearing your reaction.
Yeah, the commentary, right? Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of times the only thing you can really truly do is listen to the person who's explaining it and try to get a feeling if this person is honest and stuff. And when you heard, you're just excited. That was pure excitement. That wasn't like, there's things you can fake, but there's certain things you really can't fake. You can't.
Yeah, you can't fake that, man. You can't fake that kind of excitement because it's a shock to see something like that, So, but nothing's happened recently. I mean, I haven't seen anything in over a month out there. I mean, I've seen things, but I can explain them. So, who knows?
There is one last question before we go. I forgot to ask you. With New Year's is, of course, we know there's a lot of fireworks. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that if somebody looks at all these video footages of the fireworks, you might catch a UFO? Because don't you think if you're a UFO, right? I'm talking about other planets, not man-made stuff on Earth, that they see all these lights, all these like fireworks shows and all that going off around, that they're curious and they're flying next to them. You think there's a chance of that?
We were actually filming. I actually went live for my members this 4th of July, and we're watching all the fireworks in my neighborhood because they blow up my neighborhood, right? And then somebody spotted something in the sky stationary, and I started filming it. And then it just starts taking off and stopping, and then it turns and it goes over the ocean and just keeps going. Could it have been a drone? Yes, of course. But I do think it would be wild. Must be a wild sight from up above to witness all the lights down below going off like that, fireworks going off. So I would assume it would be a good time to look during the 4th of July or any holiday they're doing fireworks to check if there's UFOs. Definitely, because you're signaling, Who knows what they come check out. Yeah, definitely.
One of the things the New Year's fireworks show, they do it off the Space Needle. They shoot it all off, but they also use 100 drones now to do along with the fireworks show. And it's really truly amazing to see what these drones are ability to do.
The drone shows are wild, man.
The colors, the changing and all that, and it's understandable to blame a lot of UFO sightings with some of the drones, because what you're seeing, what they could do. I guess the only thing that you could really look for to break away from UFO being a drone is the speed of a UFO flying versus the speed of what a drone could go. Because these drones that they use, they're still in the same area. They're not like, you know what I mean?
Right. And yes, Cat 1137, I have noticed a drop in UFO sightings for me. I can't speak on everyone else out there investigating, but I do surf YouTube looking for new UFO footage, and I really haven't seen much of anything lately. It's been pretty quiet, You
think it's because I know there's places you could report sightings,
yeah,
because now channels like yourselves, there's more UFO channels more than ever because of YouTube and all that. That instead of reporting it to these agencies now, hey, I got this footage, I'm just gonna go to YouTube. I'll just bring it onto a channel instead of
right.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying maybe that is attributing to their reporting to be smaller, because why do I need to go to them posting? I could just post it myself now on TikTok.
True. But when you search for it, if you type in UFO videos 2022 or whatever on YouTube, the first things that's going to come up are all the government stuff like Tic Tac,
Yes.
all that, right? You really got to scroll all the way down to the bottom to find anything. And then when you get there, I mean, it's pretty much everything you've seen already. You know what I mean? I haven't seen a lot of new videos from anyone. The most recent one that I seen was from Dutch Fly. He had filmed a triangular craft with his night vision, and then aside from him was Mick from Skywatch Explorer had filmed it, and then of course Tim UFO Man, he gets stuff sent into him all the time. But those are just I haven't really seen just a regular person film something and have it out there yet, something new and cool yet.
Look right here. Kat wrote, "Strange. It's been quiet for a few weeks now."
Yeah,
but is it also could be because majority of people are not looking? They're traveling. They're visiting family. They're not really
True,
looking.
holidays, cold weather. Not a lot of people outside. I guess that all contributes to sightings. You could be there could be a sighting in Aruba for all I know, Australia, where it's nice and warm. But over here on the East Coast, nothing that I know of.
Yes, Danny. My channel is getting so popular and huge. I was able to get a condo in downtown Seattle. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's in his condo.
These condos are over $1 million. Or over $1 million. Unfortunately, people, like I said, only reason I'm in this hotel room because they asked my wife to volunteer to work because holiday is still today with a lot of companies, and no offense, over the New Year's, there's a lot of people that got arrested that want to go home and they got to get processed. So there's still
how is downtown Seattle? Is it nice? Is there anywhere like good restaurants or good theaters or anything like that?
Oh yeah, Fifth Avenue. There's a Fifth Avenue theater. Once we haven't gone there lately, but we could go there. There's on a members. I put a video up last night on a members only. I was walking through this 4th Avenue of Pike. It's one of the popular areas of Seattle. I was walking through all these lights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be a member to see that footage, but there is a footage of me walking through all these lights. Actually, hold on a second.
Did you bring a camera with you?
I just had I didn't bring my camera. I just had my my phone.
No, I'm saying, do you have your camera with you in the hotel?
No, I don't.
Your good camera. Too bad you could have went up on the roof tonight and filmed if it was clear.
Yeah, here I'm gonna pull this up. One last thing, I have to put the music off because when I put it for members, I got a copyright just for the music, not a strike or anything.
Yeah, got you.
There's music. I knew that was gonna happen. Here, let me get this off. This is
last night.
Yeah, I was like these lights. Let me get in these lights, all these lights. I know, like I said, I can't put the sound up because it'll copyright this video, but it was just pretty. All these lights are up.
Beautiful.
This is the downtown, one of the main parts of Seattle, and this is I was talking. Actually, I mentioned your name and Ron. Like one day we're going to be on this stage in the middle of downtown. This stage here is that stage there is where they do a lot of I don't want to say protesting, but they do a lot of distance speeches or government, anything, a message, a place for a message. I said one day myself and Ron and we're going to be there talking about aliens, UFOs, Bigfoots, and all that on that
so
stage.
Cool, man.
On that stage.
I wonder if you can rent the stage and do like a talk or something from it.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
You just got a permit. You just you go to the city, you file a permit, and they'll tell you what day it's available and all that. So yeah, you can technically rent that out and all that, and you can tell everybody to come down here if you believe it. You're right. Have a rally. Do it like a
UFO rally or something. Answer questions about UFOs, ghost cryptids. That would be fun.
Yeah, you could do that. You just everything in this city, you got to pay money for. You got to buy a permit for everything. You can do it. You got to pay. And we got lucky because this hotel actually pays for parking. This is where these hotels get you downtown. They get you. You got to pay a resort tax for whatever reason. Like there's no fucking carnival rides around here. What's the resort? But but regardless, but they'll charge you for it. And most of these parking, they charge you $30 to $50 to stay overnight. $30-$50 overnight.
Rip-off.
Actually, where we're at, they cover it.
What a
which is
rip
cool.
off.
It's amazing how these cities work.
Unreal.
They make so much money on the parkings and stuff, and
Same in New York City, man.
yeah, and they want you to take
$50 for
trains.
the day. It could be $100 overnight to park in the city, man. It's crazy.
But I still had last night walking around, guys. I actually had the Anthony Field because there was a lot of New York Jets people walking around. I see the New York, and it reminds me of Ron and Anthony and Purgatory, all people in New York, and of course my wife's from New York. So there's a lot of New York connections. A lot of New York connections. But hey, everybody, I want to thank you guys all for being here. Tomorrow I will be back, but unfortunately, since school starts back up tomorrow, I got to go back to the hour later. I was loving this. Only on Wednesdays I make a special deal with my son to get him to school earlier for Anthony. I do that for Anthony.
Thank you.
But he won't do that for me every day. My son will be like, I don't want to sit around. So tomorrow I'll be back up. But I'm going to bring up the topic of I'm curious if Anthony is here tomorrow. I'm curious what he feels about the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Oh, great story, Hopkinsville Goblins. I love that story.
I was almost gonna I had a couple of videos for it.
Dynamite.
I was almost gonna do for today's show. I'm like, you know what? That needs its own show because I'm so curious.
That's dynamite.
Because there's a lot of things we could dissect within that story. So that story is tomorrow.
Excellent.
And since I gotta wait 3 hours for the wife and all that, I'm gonna be working on the link now because I'm in my room by myself. But
Lucky
then
you.
I'm gonna start hitting the streets and recording and talking to people.
But yeah, Hopkinsville Goblins, great story. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, I think that'd be that's a show on its own. I feel
You should
be
put
on that, guys.
my head, your head, and Ron's head on the body of goblins for the thumbnail.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? I actually was. Where do I have it here? Do I still have it? I was actually working on. Oh, where did I put it? I actually put Anthony's head on something. And did I freaking lose it?
Hope it's not on the dog's ass.
No. My dog's. You don't want to be on there. My dog. I'll find it. I'll do that. Be on that, everybody. Have a rest of the great day, and man, I can't wait. I can't wait for Sunday with UFO Man on there. That's all gonna be fantastic.
UFO
the
Man
premiere of the cartoon. Actually, who's left in the chat? You guys, I'm not gonna tell you the story, but I guess I can share you guys the thumbnail. If that's a little teaser, maybe people want to see the thumbnail. People in the chat, you want to see the thumbnail for Sunday?
Absolutely.
I'll show you the thumbnail. That's the best I'll do. Let me share screen.
Hi, Akashi. What's up, LIB? Long Island Bigfoot's in the house. Dan is Stanton. Feed the Fink. What's up, buddy? Ida Buster. Good to see you. Ah, that came out dope.
Now, like I said, I still got to finish it up. I still got to put the words on it, but that's basically the thumbnail. This is kind of a feeling. I want people to look at it and see, oh God, when Eric says it's going to be different than the last one, that's what I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, we got Kiss in this episode. It's going to be great. Get ready for
Ninja
this.
robots. We got ninja robots.
Ninja robots. We got Kiss. This is going to be great.
I'm telling you guys,
we got to send a copy of this to Gene Simmons, but then again, I'm afraid that Gene Simmons will turn around and end up suing us for using their likeness or something. You know what I mean?
Gene Simmons wants the 25 cents that this will get.
He can have it.
He can have it. It's well deserved. Here's your quarter because I don't make we don't make a dime. People think that ad commercials you gotta have like 1 million viewers.
Listen, you should make a little video for this, so then Sunday and Wednesday and everything, I could promote it on my shows and get everybody ready for Sunday after my show to go right over to this show to watch the cartoon.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna be a fun one. So that's a little teaser for everybody.
Make a little promo video.
It's a little teaser promo. I could do that. All right, guys. We'll see everybody later. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone.